Welcome back, everyone, to another video here at Hertastic Reviews. This is the show where the channel where we talk about Blu-rays, top fives, movie reviews, and just complaining about the Blu-ray community in general here. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I'm your host here, Chris, and if you're here for the first time, hey, welcome back. Welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy your time here. If you're returning back, thanks for giving me a second chance. If you're remember last time on our show, we talked about how to build your Blu-ray collection, and honestly, it was immensely more popular than I thought it was. I thought it'd just be a rant video where people curse at me in the comment section. I'm really pissed off. For the last couple of videos, I've been wanting to get more call-outs on like my character and my taste when I did my Star Wars ranking video, and then now with how to build your Blu-ray collection, I thought more people would be pissed off at me, but I guess not. I don't know what it is. But you know, it's finally here. It's December, and we haven't talked about Christmas movies yet because to me, I like Christmas movies. I have quite a few I like to watch during this time, but for me, Christmas is all about like a feeling when it comes to my movie watches. So like there's like a lot of certain types of non-Christmas genre movies that I watch during December because it reminds me of a time when I was happy, which was my childhood, when I was watching movies and not having to work and worry about the problems of the world. Speaking of the problems of the world, though, we're coming today where I'm going to give you 5 of some of my favorite superhero movies that are not from the MCU. This isn't like my top. Most of these could be considered all-timers, a few of them, but this isn't like my concrete top 5. These are just 5 superhero movies that you need to watch during this holiday season. I just personally love them. I don't know. I don't particularly watch these all during December. Some of them I do, but these are just some movies you definitely need to knock off your checklist, or you need to go back and revisit them. To my commentator, who asked for this, so to George Strange, he loved last episode where we talked about how to grow up your collection. He asked the question, well, what about selling those blind buys that you don't like? And I told you I would answer in this video, so here you go. If you buy some movies you don't like, you need to sell them. Don't give them to like places like Vintage Stock, because they're gonna lowball you. Go to your pawn shop. Sometimes they give you $2 for that Blu-ray. Those are standard. If they are boutique labeled, you need to join Facebook groups. The Criterion Considered, just the Criterion Collection Facebook page. They post listings, and also eBay is a really great place for it too. Sure, you'll pay a small little fee for it, but you'll get some of your money back. And here's my thing: if you're buying boutique labels and you want to sell them, if you pay $20 for that Blu-ray during the Criterion sale, sell it for $16 or $17 maybe. That's about what you're gonna get. You're gonna take about a $5 loss. And here's the thing: that's about the cost of a rental right there. So you gotta eat up some of it. You don't be posting new seal for $20 unless you're giving free shipping, because no one's gonna buy those. You're gonna be stuck with them. You're gonna have to eat up a little bit of it, but at least you get some of that money back. Usually when I sell Blu-rays, I sell them for about $16 or $17 plus $2 media shipping. And I've always been successful doing that. Now, if they're bigger collections, definitely join those Facebook groups. They're really great about it. Check your listings for what your value, the value of your movie is you're selling, because if you check on Amazon's pricing and it's like out of print to hell, don't trust that, because it just means it's really hard to get. So it's not gonna, like, for example, Lenny I had on Blu-ray for Twilight Time. It was going for like 80 something bucks on Amazon, eBay. People were posting for $80, and I know I'm never gonna get something like that. So I actually sold it for $45. I paid $12 for it when I bought it. Like, you got to do things like that. You're not gonna get exactly as high as the highest. You got to get somewhere in the middle there. So that's my suggestion to you, George. But anyway, let's get into these superhero movies. First one on the list, it's one I rewatched recently, and I did an episode on it on Cobwebs really early on, which is a podcast with my buddy Daniel. But that is the animated series Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. I love Mask of the Phantasm. I think it is such a great Batman movie. You get a lot of great Bruce Wayne. You get the Joker. You get an awesome steamy romance in this animated movie. It feels more for adults than kids. The mystery of the Phantasm is great. If you haven't seen the animated show, you should definitely watch it. It's definitely one of the best incarnations of Batman and Bruce Wayne. But Mask of the Phantasm is such a phenomenal movie. It's one of maybe even the best Batman movies. So that would be the first one I think you need to watch. It feels a little bit more like I don't know what type of season it would be, but like honestly, watching Batman at any time is a great time. Also, there's a really great Joker one, Christmas with Joker, which is one of the early episodes. Definitely should watch it for this season 2, and then watch Mask of the Phantasm. Really great stuff. I could see people wanting to watch Sub-Zero more because he's in ice and stuff, but I rewatched Sub-Zero and I just was not crazy about it like I used to be. So definitely check out Mask of the Phantasm.
Gasp! Can it be? Old Sally the Weezer Valestra. Welcome, Paisan. It's been a dog's age.
Hello, Joker. Didn't mean to drop by unannounced.
Oh, Salvatore. Why so formal? Mi Casa Nostra es su Casa Nostra.
The next movie I want to talk about is, I mean, honestly, you can pick either of the first two. The third one, I need to rewatch before I criticize it. I'm not going to do that here. But these first two are flawless. I personally love the first one more, but 2 is just as good as the first, if not better. But that is Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and 2. The third one I haven't seen in a while, and I don't want to be one of those guys who criticizes it. I just don't want to be. There's nothing cool about criticizing a movie because it's so bad. But am I going to defend it? Probably not. But you need to watch the first two. Look, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, he's fine and all, but nothing's going to beat Tobey Maguire. And I'm calling me nostalgic for it, but I seriously think these movies are way better. Tom Watts, the director for the Spider-Man movies for the MCU, I'm not a fan of his, really. Those Spider-Man movies feel a little weird to me. I think they won't age very well, but these movies are timeless. And Sam Raimi knew what he was doing with the Spider-Man character, and they hold up so well, especially Spider-Man 2 with Alfred Molina. But I really love Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin, the first one. These movies are iconic. The quotes on these movies are phenomenal. These are just like, you have to watch all of these each per year because they're just like must-watch movies every year. I have already seen the first two already earlier this year. So it's like, these are just flawless movies, and I love watching them during the holidays because they're just so heartwarming, and they have heart, and there's great action on them. So yeah, the Spider-Man 1 and 2, gotta watch those. The next one, I don't know if this is where I get hate or people are gonna call me crazy for it. I really enjoy this movie. It's one of my most watched. I really do like the one that came before it as well, but I'm not gonna include it because I feel like that movie's so divisive in general. Either you love it or you hate it. I know I'm probably in the minority there, but for this movie, I feel like it's automatically thrown out the window, but I feel like people need to give it more of a chance. Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, the extended cut. The reason I think this movie is better is the extended version, is Ultimate Edition, is way better than the standard edition. You get extra scenes that work better. I just really love this movie. It gave me a lot of things that I wanted as a kid. It gave me Batman meeting Superman, and I love that animated 90s one. But this one is live action. I really like Man of Steel. I really do. I love the Superman character, but I love Batfleck. I think Batfleck works amazing. I love this concept of Superman looking at him as a god and deciding how the world's going to work with him. And I like how Batman is dark and moody, and he's like not about this alien taking over the world, basically. Now, there are some really big issues in this movie. Like, I know Doomsday is not good in this movie at all. I understand that. But that soundtrack when Wonder Woman shows up is phenomenal. The Martha stuff, kind of annoying. I get it. But they're comic book movies. Like, you're going to have to get some cheese in there. Like, that's me pulling like a slice of pizza that's really cheesy out. But, I mean, I really don't mind it that much. I think the action's great. I think the dialogue's awesome. It has maybe one of the best fight scenes of any superhero movie with Batman fighting a bunch of the goons when trying to save Martha. I think that scene is phenomenal. I really like that. I really like Lex Luthor. I shouldn't say love. I like Lex Luthor. Jesse Eisenberg I don't have a big problem with, but I like how philosophical he is. I don't know. Something about that just works for me. I'm also pretty forgiving for the most part with superhero movies. I don't know. I just really like Batman vs. Superman. It's such an easy watch to put in the background. I think more people need to give this movie a chance. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the weird one. What are your thoughts on Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice? Comment down below. I want to know. The next one is a personal favorite because I grew up watching it a lot with my mom. And this can be said for basically 1 through 3 and then the returns. But that is Christopher Reeve's Superman. Now, the first Superman movie... this is a big one for me, directed by Richard Donner, who also is a really great director. He also did the sequel, which is Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. Really recommend watching that one instead of the standard edition. Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor works really well. I just love Christopher Reeves as Superman. He's just like the epitome of what Superman is meant to be. Sure, it's weird that I like Man of Steel, but I just love the character of Superman. So I'm willing to watch basically any of his incarnations. And I do like Zack Snyder's style. I know there's some criticisms of like Superman being like sad all the time and stuff. Well, watch Superman, the first movie, and get a lot of optimism and be happy. I just really love these Christopher Reeves movies. I grew up watching them as a kid. And I don't know. Also, the Brandon Routh Superman Returns, I watched a lot as a kid on a bootleg DVD. And though the plot doesn't work well with, who is it? Is it Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor? Sure, it's a little sauce. It doesn't work out well. But when Superman comes down, bringing the plane down into the baseball field, and we see that Superman's returned, I love that as a kid. Like as an early teen, I love that stuff. And the machine gun shooting at him and slow-moing into his eye. Like that was it for me. I just love Superman, and honestly, these Superman movies are pretty great. I know the Quest for Peace isn't great, but I like Richard Pryor in Superman 3. I think it's kind of fun. So I would definitely recommend checking out these Superman movies if you haven't. The final ones I want to binge. Basically, the only reason I wanted to talk about some superhero movies was because of these, and I really think these don't get talked about enough. I think it's like old heads like me that grew up watching them and like gushing over them all the time. And we got a lot of spin-offs. They weren't really successful for the most part, but I still enjoyed them. I know they're completely different because they're going to be in the MCU now. But I mean, these will be protected with my life. That's the X-Men trilogy from the early 2000s. You got X-Men, X-Men 2, that's X-Men United, and then X-Men 3 Last Stand. Last Stand was one of my most watched. I love that movie so much. I'm not kidding. I love X-Men Last Stand. And X-Men United is very amazing. All of these are very flawless movies for me. I can't be very critical of them. I think they just really capture the world of X-Men really well. They're really great casted films, and the action is great. Now, I know Bryan Singer did them, and we don't talk about Bryan Singer, but X-Men 2 has Brian Cox in it. And that's a Stryker, and it's perfect for me. Like, perfect casting there. I just really love these X-Men movies. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. And we get him in Logan too, which I absolutely love too. But I feel like everyone loves Logan for the most part. But these X-Men movies, the first three, we don't talk about these movies enough. I think it's because they're not as comical as like the MCU movies are. And they're pretty serious toned movies. But the action is awesome. I used to have so many of these figures. Like in the first one, when the Statue of Liberty with Sabretooth and Wolverine fighting, I used to have those figures. I thought they were the best things ever. So I really think people need to go back and watch this trilogy. I think it's a really, really, really solid, airtight trilogy. It's kind of up there with the Scream trilogy, where it's like it's so airtight and I can watch any of them and I love them all just as much. So yeah, and then you could say Days of Future Past is pretty good too, and I do enjoy it. But when I think about X-Men, I always think about these first three movies. So those are my superhero movies that I want. I definitely recommend you need to watch, or at least rewatch them and maybe reevaluate them. Maybe we were a little too hard on them. The other reason is because we're on the cusp of the Marvel's Disney Plus announcement with all the Star Wars and all the Marvel shows that are coming out and stuff. And it's like I wanted to see what the state of superhero movies are, because I really think we're taking a weird direction. I feel like Disney is kind of copying the CW in a way with making TV shows of their MCU stuff and their Star Wars stuff. Now, I'm not complaining too much about it because like Star Wars is going to be great, but for the Marvel MCU stuff, I hate to be one of those guys that feel fatigued, but I mean, I think Endgame wrapped up everything perfectly, and Far From Home was not the movie I wanted to end this event with, but it was still pretty solid, and I know they're making a third one, and I don't know what's happening with Black Widow and a bunch of other things, but as someone who remembers the early days of Marvel, the early 2000s, that was like it for me. That was awesome stuff with SpiderMan and the XMen and just all those great things. I just really enjoyed them, so... Anyway, what are some superhero movies you enjoy watching? Are they MCU movies? Are they pre-MCU? Are they up-and-coming MCU movies? Let me know down in the comments below. If you've seen some of these movies, let me know what your thoughts are on them. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you like this video. But remember, this was Hertastic Reviews, and if you don't like watching superhero movies, do you really even care about cinema? Anyway, we'll see you next time.